It was a television moment that nobody saw coming. One that left the studio in stunned silence, viewers at home scrambling for the rewind button, and the internet on fire with speculation. In a high-stakes political panel discussion, Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas delivered a bombshell revelation that sent her opponent, the son of former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, into a visible spiral on live television. The exchange lasted less than half a minute. 17 seconds, to be exact. But those 17 seconds were enough to unravel weeks of carefully crafted talking points, confident public appearances, and a political image his team had been meticulously shaping. The broadcast was meant to be just another heated political segment. A mix of policy debate, pointed jabs, and rehearsed rebuttals. But Crockett, known for her no-nonsense style and sharp rhetorical skill, clearly came to the table prepared for more than just standard political sparring. The setup, a familiar face under pressure. Pam Bondi's son, whose rising political ambitions have been quietly making waves in conservative circles, was booked for the show to discuss a controversial policy proposal. His public profile had been on a steady incline thanks to media appearances, grassroots events, and high-profile endorsements, much of it capitalizing on his mother's well-known tenure as Florida's top prosecutor and later as a prominent Trump ally. But what viewers didn't know was that in the days leading up to this particular appearance, rumors had begun circulating in political backchannels. Whispers about inconsistencies in his personal story, questions about undisclosed connections, and most damaging of all, claims that certain past actions had been deliberately buried to preserve his clean-cut image. Crockett, a Democrat known for her legal acumen and fearless debate style, had apparently heard enough of these whispers to bring them into the open. The moment of impact. The discussion began in predictable fashion. Policy disagreements over justice reform, policing, and state-level legal authority. Pam Bondi's son, polished, articulate, and clearly trying to project calm authority, laid out his talking points. Crockett listened, occasionally interjecting, but for the first few minutes, the debate stayed within the bounds of expected political discourse. Then, at a moment when he seemed most confident, Crockett leaned forward, locked eyes with him, and delivered a line that instantly shifted the energy in the studio. "You keep talking about accountability, but maybe we should start with why you failed to disclose what happened in Tallahassee in 2018. Does that ring a bell?" The words seemed to hang in the air for a beat too long. Viewers could see the shift instantly. The flash of confusion in his eyes, the slight parting of his lips, the tightening of his jaw. His polished smile faltered. He began to stammer a reply, but Crockett continued. "Because the people you're asking to trust you deserve to know exactly who you are, and what you tried to hide." 17 seconds that changed everything. It was then that the camera caught the unraveling in real time. He attempted to respond, but his sentences tripped over themselves. He glanced toward the host, as if seeking an interruption or lifeline, but none came. He tried to pivot back to policy, but his voice cracked slightly, and in that moment, the composure that had carried him through countless public appearances slipped away entirely. The entire segment from Crockett's initial question to the moment he gave up trying to regain control lasted only 17 seconds. But within those seconds, the damage was undeniable. By the time the host moved the conversation forward, his confidence was gone. His answers grew shorter, his voice flatter. Even his posture betrayed a defensive slump. Crockett, meanwhile, maintained a calm but pointed demeanor, occasionally glancing in his direction with the quiet authority of someone who knows they've shifted the balance. What was she talking about? That became the question consuming social media within minutes. Clips of the exchange hit Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram almost immediately, with armchair detectives dissecting every word, facial expression, and pause. Sources close to the political world soon began connecting the dots. The Tallahassee 2018 reference appeared to point toward an incident involving a lobbying firm, a questionable client contract, and alleged influence peddling that had never been publicly addressed. While no formal charges were filed, political insiders claimed that the fallout had been quietly managed behind closed doors to avoid damaging his future prospects. Until now, that is, the aftermath. By the end of the broadcast, the panel's original topic was all but forgotten. News outlets replayed the confrontation in slow motion, analyzing his every blink and fumble. Headlines blared about Crockett's devastating takedown and his on-air collapse. Some media commentators argued that Crockett's move was overly personal, stepping beyond the bounds of policy debate. Others defended her, saying that if a candidate, or potential candidate, is asking for public trust, their past actions are fair game. His campaign team, caught off guard by the incident, initially tried to downplay it. A spokesperson released a brief statement calling the exchange a cheap shot based on false rumors, and insisting he had nothing to hide. But that did little to quell the growing speculation. Why Crockett's move worked? Political strategists quickly weighed in on why the moment was so impactful. First, Crockett's timing was impeccable. She waited until he had built a rhythm and was feeling confident before dropping the reference, making the disruption far more noticeable. Second, she didn't elaborate on the allegation, forcing him into the uncomfortable position of either addressing it on the spot or visibly avoiding it. Third, she did it live, where there was no editing, no chance to regroup before the clip went public. In today's media environment, those few seconds of real-time discomfort were enough to spark an online firestorm. The internet piles on. Within hours, hashtags like #17seconds and #Tallahassee2018 were trending. Some users turned the moment into memes, slow-motion zoom-ins of his reaction, paired with dramatic music. Others dug into public records, trying to uncover more details about the incident Crockett referenced. Comment sections lit up with both outrage and schadenfreude. Crockett's supporters praised her for holding a political figure accountable. His supporters accused her of character assassination. And countless neutral observers simply marveled at the sheer political drama of it all. Pam Bondi's silence. One notable absence from the conversation was Pam Bondi herself. Known for her willingness to defend allies in the media, Bondi did not issue any immediate statement about her son's on-air stumble. That silence only fueled more speculation. Was she distancing herself from the controversy, or simply waiting for the right moment to respond? Privately, some insiders suggested that Bondi was furious about the ambush and the fact that her son had been unprepared for it. Others claim she was focused on damage control behind the scenes, working to ensure the incident didn't spiral into a full-blown scandal.